Welcome to the Western Reserve Photographic Society Crop, Resize, and Sharpen video. Okay, this is an image. This is the way it came out of my camera. It's not my best image. And as you can see, we have a lot of dead space on the left. We've got dead space on the right that could be cropped off before we actually can enter this into a competition. So what we will do is make sure we click on the toolbar on the left, and I get my cropping handles. There we go. And I'm going to crop some off that right. There we go. Now we shouldn't really have the image centered, so I'm going to move this a little bit to the side. That way it looks like it opens up into the frame a little bit. And then I can also rotate it in CS6 so I can get a little more rotation on that so it looks like it opens up just a little more. And I'll do a little more final resizing on that and shaping. Okay, that looks like about right what I want. So on the top menu bar, okay, I like to delete my crop pixels, so I use that checked. You don't have to do that. But to make the crop active, you have to use the checkbox up here. There it is. It says commit current cropped operation. If we click that, the image is cropped. Great. Now next stage is going to be resize. So what we do is we go to image, and again at the top pull down menu bar, left click on image, and we go down to image size, left click on image size, and I come up with the dialog box. Now this right now is in pixels, and we have document size. Do not worry about document size other than resolution. Resolution does not really make a big difference, but for convention we're going to set 300 on that. You do want to make sure before you do image size changes you have constrained proportions checked. If you uncheck this, you can distort your images and they won't look right. So you do use the constrained proportions. Now as you can see here we have 36. Well, I'm going to go back here to resolution 300. There. Okay, you can see our width is way too large. So what we do is I go to 1024. This is the maximum width we can use for WRPS competitions. Now when I went to 1024 in the width, the height is 700. Now the maximum height we could use is 768. This is a little less high, but you know what? This works. So before I do and commit to the image size change, I want to go down to resample. Now it's on bicubic automatic. You can use that if you like. You can also use bicubic sharper, which is best for reduction because we are reducing the smaller size on that. Personally, I like a little more control, so I'm going to pick bicubic, best for smooth gradients. And then I will commit to the image size change. When I did that, the image is considerably smaller. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to use my scroll wheel. I have my Photoshop set up so my scroll wheel actually will change the image size on the screen, not at the actual picture dimensions. And here's my image. Not bad, but you know, we can make this better. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go next up to the menu bar, and I'm going to hit filter. I get my pull down menu, and I'm going to go down here to sharpen. Now Photoshop offers 5 different ways of sharpening. These are all very good. Personally, for the most control, I like unsharp mask. I hit unsharp mask. As you can see, it automatically sharpened quite a bit. So this over here is your preview window. If you click on your preview window, you get to see it unsharpened and then sharpened. If I go to the preview button here and I unclick that, watch the image. The image itself changes. So now you've got 3 different parameters you can adjust in unsharp mask. Threshold, I leave it a low value of 3. I don't worry about that too much. The amount makes a bit of a difference. If I lower it down, I get very, very little sharpening. You can see very little sharpening there. If I put it too high, you can see how much sharpening I get. It's too much. Doesn't look good on the image, doesn't look good on the preview. So I like to go about the middle. Yeah, I can go 98. That's about a good amount. Great. Now the next one that actually makes the most difference in your unsharp mask sharpening is a radius. Now if I put the radius way down, again, I get almost no sharpening at all. If I put it up too far, I've actually lost detail. This is way over sharpened. I don't want to do that. You can see how it's actually degraded my image. Look at the image. So this is where you use your judgment. Cut it back. 14, is that too much? I think it's a little too much. I'm going to go back here to maybe about a 7.8. And look at the preview button. Off and on. Off and on. Okay, I think that does it. I'll click OK. And this is my image. A little better than we started with. So if I want to save this, what I do is I go to File, and I should go to Save As, because you don't want to save it in any format other than JPEG. And these over here are the type of images you can choose. You can go to Photoshop, you can go to TIFF. For purposes of Western Reserve Photographic competitions, we're going to go to JPEG. And what we are doing here now is I actually, this is my original image. I'm going to put an R in here. Okay, so it stands for resize. The different naming will be changed with different competitions. So I will hit save on that. I get my JPEG options. Now for competition and for general purposes, I like to use maximum, like the best quality I can on a JPEG, and then smaller or large file. Obviously check the large file. And for options, I go for baseline optimized. You can go for progressive, but as you can see, progressive format can change things. So baseline optimized is one I would recommend. And we hit OK. And our image is saved and ready to be renamed for competition. Now we go to a second image I have here. Okay, here we have a blue heron. Again, I had the wrong lens on. I should have had a higher zoom lens, but this was taken from a kayak, and you know, sometimes you just got to take what you can get. However, because it was done with a large resolution camera, I can crop this quite a bit and still make a competitive image. Okay, well, first thing, as we said before, is we're going to crop it. So we got our crop marks on there. I'm going to drag my handles. Now this one here I think is going to look better as a vertical. The other one was more of a horizontal. This I'm going to do as a vertical. Now we want to reposition this so that the bird is more toward that upper left, looking into the frame. Alright, there we go. I think I'll stick with my original angle on this one. Okay, again I've got delete crop pixels, and I'm going to commit to the crop by checking and hitting the check mark. Okay, image is smaller now. We can enlarge that. And even though I've taken and cropped it quite a bit, I still have an acceptable image. It needs to be improved. So next, after we have cropped it, we are going to go to Image on the top menu bar. We're going to go to Image Size. Left click on Image Size. I get my dialog box. Okay, resolution is 300. That's about what we wanted. And my width here is 1827. Too large. Well, we said before maximum width we can use was 1064 or 1024. Okay, go to 1024, but look at my height here. It's 1258. Remember, the maximum height here is going to be 768. So I'm going to have to put 768 in here. 768. My width is only 625, but since it's a vertical, that's okay. My height is 768. That works. Resolution is 300. I have constrained proportions. And instead of going to bicubic automatic, I'm going to go again for bicubic, best for smooth gradients. Okay, my image is sized. And I definitely need to sharpen that. I'm sure you can tell. So we'll go to Filter on the top menu bar. We'll now go down to Sharpen. And of the 5 options here, I like Unsharp Mask. And we can see what happens. Now, this is probably sharpened a little more than what we wanted to have from the last image. So I will leave threshold at 3. Amount 99, 98, that'd be fine. And maybe if we over sharpen it, that does not improve it. If we cut the down, that's not sharpened enough. So I may go over here to, let's say, maybe a 6.9. I'll check my preview button, or my preview window, I should say. There's my preview window. And my preview button. I think that's a little better. Maybe too sharp. Preview button again. Okay, I'll go with that. I hit OK. Now my image has been cropped, it has been resized, and it has been sharpened. Now, before we go to another image or finish up, we have to save it. We go down here to Save As, and I will put the R in front of this because it has been resized. The naming will change for different competitions. I make sure my format is JPEG. I will hit Save. JPEG options. Again, I'm at maximum for quality, largest size, and baseline optimized. And I'll hit OK. My image has now been sized. Okay, well, thank you for tuning in tonight and seeing our cropping, resizing, and final sharpening. We hope to see your images in competition soon. Thank you again for your attention, and have a good evening.